With less than a week to go until deadline day, let's take a look at the transfer saga that feels like it's rumbled on for months now. Marcus Rashford. Now, according to multiple journalists, including, by the way, David Ornstein, who's about as reliable as it gets when it comes to football journalists, there's been interest shown in Marcus Rashford from the Premier League and from teams across Europe, but nothing really has progressed beyond initial talks. The 4 clubs that have shown the most concrete interest in Marcus Rashford are Juventus, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, and what's rumoured to be Marcus Rashford's preferred destination, Barcelona. Now, going into this window, the expectation from Manchester United would have been that any one of those clubs that wanted Marcus Rashford would have had to pay a loan fee and 100% of his wages, or at the very least, the majority of them. However, with Marcus Rashford the 5th highest paid player in the Premier League and amongst the top 20 across Europe, it's becoming increasingly obvious that these clubs are going to find it very difficult to accommodate such high wages. And with transfer deadline day coming up in just a few days on February the 3rd, the pressure is now really ramping up on all 3 parties to try and reach a compromise. For Manchester United, that might mean allowing Marcus Rashford to leave and still paying the majority of his wages. The benefit to Manchester United with that, of course, is that they get a high-profile, unhappy player away from the club, away from the first team, and actually playing regular minutes away in a different country, and that might just boost the chances of a permanent big money transfer in the summer. Something like that might just make the deal that little bit more financially viable for those clubs, and might be the difference between bringing Marcus Rashford in as their highest earner and one of their highest earners. Now, there's a very real possibility that in these negotiations, all 4 of those clubs, and Manchester United, are saying we simply cannot justify paying all or even the majority of Marcus Rashford's wages over the next few months. And I would argue that there's an even bigger possibility that as we enter these final few days of the transfer window, as those hours and minutes tick down, that it's Marcus Rashford that will have to make that compromise. Because if he's as desperate for a move away as we all believe him to be, and Manchester United aren't willing to compromise, and the clubs coming in for him aren't willing to compromise, then it might be Marcus Rashford having to take a 20-30% pay cut to make sure he gets that big move away. And you would have to expect that, especially after the manner in which the relationship between Ruben Amorim and Marcus Rashford and Manchester United as a football club has just disintegrated in recent weeks, that a compromise will have to be reached. Surely it will be reached in the next few days. Of course, Marcus Rashford could call their bluff, and he could say, well, I've signed a contract for £300,000 a week plus $75,000 a week in potential bonuses. That's my contract, that's what I've signed, that needs to be paid. But that would be a very, very risky game to play. Because you'd have to imagine that Barcelona, AC Milan, Juventus, Borussia Dortmund, they've all got their own plans too. They've all got managers that have decided they want a wide player in the shape of Marcus Rashford, and if he's available, yes, let's get him. But those clubs aren't going to wait around forever for Marcus Rashford. As the minutes and the hours tick by, they're going to turn their attentions to other players that have made them their priority. And it's for that reason why I would not be surprised at all if on February the 4th, Marcus Rashford wakes up and he's a Manchester United player still. Because although Marcus Rashford isn't in the Manchester United team right now, you would expect there's been a quiet acceptance behind the scenes that we might have to repair bridges at some point here if things don't go to plan. I mean, it's said that Marcus Rashford's priority right now is a move to Barcelona, but you'd have to say they aren't blessed financially. They would have to move some players out before they could accommodate Marcus Rashford. And maybe the Barcelona fans will love that signing, but with Lamine Yamal and Rafinha on the wings, they don't necessarily need a Marcus Rashford. So you have to wonder, just what is the appetite from Barcelona? How eager would they be to get this deal done? So the next few days are going to be massive for Marcus Rashford. You might even say career-defining. You know, he's 27, he's lost his way at Manchester United, but we've all seen the potential, haven't we? You know, he scored 30 goals just a couple of seasons ago. We've seen it for England. He's got all the ability in the world. What do you think? Let me know. Why do you think Marcus Rashford is out the team at the moment? Do you think it's a system or tactical fit? Do you agree with Ruben Amorim? Is it purely down to effort and application? Is Marcus Rashford just not putting in the hard yards in training? And the all-important question is, this time next week, what badge will Marcus Rashford be wearing? Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you think this is all going to play out? I'm really interested to see. But as always, either way, thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't already, consider liking the video. Maybe even subscribe if you can. It really, really helps the channel. And either way, yeah, I'll see you in the next one.